Did you know that two assets could make you significantly richer in just a few years? It's true. But here's the surprising part. Keeping your money in the bank won't get you there. So what should you do? In today's video, we'll unlock the hidden potential of two extraordinary assets that are best to invest in right now and have been recommended by Robert Kiyosaki. And as we all know, Kiyosaki is not your typical financial advisor. He is a game changer, an advocate for financial independence, and a mastermind behind the international bestseller Rich Dad, Poor Dad. With his groundbreaking insight, Kiyosaki has empowered individuals worldwide to take control of their financial destinies. So, what kind of warning is he giving us? And what should we do? Without further ado, let's get started. The looming financial storm. In the world of finance, we're all aware of a wise man with an incredible capacity to predict future tragedies. In 2008, financial specialist Robert Kiyosaki rightly predicted that the Lehman Brothers would go bankrupt. Today, he gives a dire warning, implying several banks will collapse. His declaration follows the recent failures on Wall Street, which saw Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank collapse. Experts do not foresee a worldwide banking crisis as severe as the one that occurred in 2008. Still, they do anticipate a credit crunch that would make borrowing more difficult and expensive, burdening both individuals and businesses as banks try to reduce risks. During an interview on the Fox News program Kavuto, Coast to Coast, Kiyosaki revealed the primary focus of his concern to be the deteriorating conditions of the bond market. In light of this, earlier predictions that Lehman Brothers would fall, he suggests that more banks will fail. But what motivates Kiyosaki's proposal that you withdraw your money from banks? His foresight extends beyond the current financial landscape, as he predicts an impending spike in inflation due to the United States' response to the banking crisis. He asserts that more money will likely be printed by the government to bail out banks, ultimately leading to inflation. He even criticized President Joe Biden for assuring the public that taxpayers would not shoulder the burden of these bank bailouts. But according to Finbold, a financial news source, Kiyosaki disagrees with Biden's stance. He's not impressed by the Federal Reserve's assurance that the current inflationary pressures are transient and will pass. And he accuses Federal Chair Jerome Powell for hiding the facts. Moreover, he expresses concern for American taxpayers and overall status of the economy because he thinks that the Federal Reserve and the FDIC's ongoing creation of what he calls fake money is a sign of impending hyperinflation. To grasp the depth of the problem, let's go into the workings of the Federal Reserve, also known as the Fed. To maintain reserve requirements, the Fed sets target interest rates that banks use for daily interbanking lending. These rates have recently increased due to Federal Reserve Board decisions, making borrowing money more costly. According to Kiyosaki, such actions might harm some sectors, including real estate, bonds, equities, and even the US dollar. So what effects might this have? Well, according to Kiyosaki, the Fed's activities could lead to a future market crisis of historically significant proportions, costing an incredible $1 quadrillion. Kiyosaki urges us to identify the current financial system's inherent vulnerability and underlines that the Fed's approach of raising interest rates may pave the way for hyperinflation, threatening the value of our hard-earned money. These concerns emphasize the importance of our undivided attention. His past comments about inflation confirms his conviction in a coming global economic disaster, which the Federal Reserve's actions will exacerbate. In light of this, he advocates getting hold of precious metals like gold and silver as investments because he views them as the most practical safeguards against the dangers of what he calls fake money. Now, before we continue, hold up a sec. Subscribing to my channel is like hitting the jackpot in financial wisdom. All about budgeting and planning. And the cherry on top? Just slide down to the description and bam, there you have it. my carefully designed monthly budget trackers. They're your secret weapon for the money management battleground. So why not click that subscribe button with enthusiasm and dive into the description for these budgeting gems. Trust me, your financial and future self will be proud of you. Moving on, you might be wondering which are the two assets he recommends. Gold. Robert Kiyosaki has frequently lambasted fiat currencies such as the US dollar in his bold predictions, referring to them as fake money and toilet paper. He thinks the entire monetary system just prints money out of thin air and that the American state is in danger. Having made his first gold purchase in 1972, Kiyosaki has long been a proponent of the metal. Gold has been appreciated for countless years and is regarded as a safe haven hedge against inflation. Gold is more desirable since there is a limited supply, unlike paper money. Investors frequently turn to gold to preserve their purchasing power as inflation increases. In light of historical facts, his analysis of gold may be accurate. By the way, the demand for gold rose 12% during the first half of 2022 compared to the other prior years. According to data, gold prices increased by an average of 14.9% in years when U.S. inflation was seen as high. Consumer prices increased by 9.1% throughout the year, ending in June 2022, and now by rising 14% between November 2022 and February 2023, gold's price is making a comeback. It's a solid inflation hedge because it tends to keep its value for extended periods in contrast to many other assets. Because economic recessions frequently affect the stock market and real estate assets, Kiyosaki's warning that a major downturn in the U.S. economy is likely. During a recession, investments like stocks, bonds, and real estate may become difficult to convert into usable cash, becoming illiquid. On the other hand, gold is a sensible investment during a recession, as it is relatively liquid and can be readily converted into cash. Investors can limit their exposure to riskier assets and lessen the impact of any losses by diversifying their portfolios to include gold. Gold is a safety net, guaranteeing a diverse portfolio during challenging economic times. Why should you consider including it into your financial portfolio? Could it be that gold has proven to be a trustworthy store of wealth over time? Or is it possible that gold offers liquidity when other investments are failing? The answer rests in gold's exceptional capacity to provide stability during periods of economic unpredictability, as anticipated, and act as a hedge against hyperinflation. While paper money may lose value owing to inflation, gold remains a reliable and tangible asset. If you include gold in your investment strategy, you can protect the money you've worked so hard to acquire and ensure a stable financial future for yourself. Then we get into the second asset, silver. Silver may be a good option for adding precious metals to your portfolio to diversify it, as, like gold, it may serve as an inflation hedge. The author of Rich Dad Poor Dad has long advocated for gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Still, his most recent tweets singled out silver as being remarkably cheap and accessible, reinforcing his previous claim that silver represents the best investment value available today. He reminded his Twitter followers recently that he has been saying buy silver for years, and that silver is the finest investment because it has been a worse commodity for 50 years. He detailed how he put his silver beliefs into action in another of his tweets in 2022, as reported by Benzinga, noting that to profit from the crash of the US dollar, many more US silver buffalo rounds were purchased since silver was considered a bargain. The financial guru has been adamant in his claim that the world economy is about to experience a significant slump, and he has been advising people to invest in precious metals as well. He stated that he thinks Bitcoin, silver, and gold are the greatest assets for uncertain times. He even believes that in 2023, silver will increase to $75, and by 2025, silver will reach a $500 price point. It is occasionally referred to as poor man's gold. Together with gold, they can both grow in price if investors seeking a safe haven during periods of economic uncertainty, and both can retain their value better than other assets during times of inflation. 2023 will still be an excellent year to invest in silver, primarily to safeguard against inflation and further economic turbulence. When the government prints more money, the value of the paper currency falls and prices rise. In this case, owning silver can be a wise decision to safeguard your purchasing power and diversifying your holdings. Silver can also be a crucial component of a well-rounded investment strategy, even though it may not be as prestigious as gold. One of its main benefits being the ability of silver to keep its value well during periods of economic instability. Investors can use hedging strategies against inflation and any economic slump using silver as a safe haven metal. A recent illustration is the increase in silver prices that occurred during the start of the COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020. The uncertainty caused the spot price of silver to increase by 45% for the year. There was a rush to buy silver when the major central banks and government altered their fiscal policies to deliver more excellent stimulus packages. Moreover, for beginners, silver is a good portfolio diversifier. It needs to be an integral part of every portfolio. Even though it occasionally trades in a narrow range, there is always a possibility of a market-moving event. It's an asset you should consider buying because it can maintain its value over the long run and offer your portfolio securities from adverse market performances. Having most of your money in cash can lower your net worth if the stock market drops. If you've overexposed to riskier financial products like equities and funds, silver assets allow you to regain some value. It's not surprising that silver has traditionally skyrocketed amid stock market crisis. Having precious metals like gold and silver in a portfolio not only helps investors recover from losses sustained in the stock market, but it also provides a backup source of capital that can be used to reinvest in cheap shares once the economy starts to recover. And that's a wrap. What will you do next? Will you be diversifying your portfolio with these two valuable assets? Because, well, you will be positioning yourself for success amid economic uncertainties. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.